Thank you to our sponsor, FitBod. You're not the same person as you were at the start of the year, so it's natural for your fitness journey to have ups and downs. It's not too late to crush your summer fitness goals. Try FitBod today. Get 20% off your subscription to try the app free at fitbod.me/Virzi. That's FitBod, FITBOD.me/Virzi, VIRZI, for 20% off today. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi, and you guys are listening to episode 585. Thank you guys for all of the subscriptions. Please like and comment. Okay, it makes the show go up, and I really appreciate that. Show's been growing since we've been here in the New York City studio, and I have another great guest. By the way, I want to thank everybody who came out to all the shows, and I'll announce more dates at the end of the episode. But today I have another great guest, hilarious comedian, amazing writer, writes for amazing shows, writes for amazing people, such a funny stand-up. But his most important credit in my mind is he is now a new father.
3 months in. 3 months in. 3 months in. Yeah.
3 months in. Yes, that's the biggest credit you've got. Robby Slowik is here. Thank you so much for being here.
Me, Virzi.
Got a baby girl?
Baby girl, Goldie. Yeah.
Goldie. Oh my God, that's awesome. After Goldie Hawn?
Well, it was just, I don't know, so I think Casey said Goldie, and immediately I was just like, yes. It was the quickest conversation ever. We didn't like go back and forth on names. Like Casey said Goldie, and I was just like, yes, and done. We didn't like look back. That's
awesome. And, you know, I know you guys have been together how long?
10 years, 10, 11, 10.
You had a nice wedding.
Yeah.
You had a nice wedding up in, where was that? We're like pretty much in the woods, right?
Yeah, it's Catskills, upstate. Like the town is called Big Indian, and you're like, are we keeping that? Are we keeping that name still? But
you're gonna keep Big Indian. You're like, I guess it's nice.
So, whatever. It's where we're getting married.
Yeah, so. It works. But no, it was really cool. And then to hear that you guys, I guess, and I want to talk, obviously, Robby's a writer, and he's part of this whole strike situation.
Yeah.
And I know that it's got to affect you a lot more than it's affected some other people.
I've kind of been like, because if you have the option to live with money or without money, choose money. I've decided, like money way better.
I think like when you're when you're teetering, I think going with the income,
go with the money.
But I guess what I was going to say is the silver lining here can be that at least you can be kind of home and present a little bit, especially with a new situation, trying to get probably helps your wife, right?
No, it's been so nice to be home and spend time with the baby, but it's also like I gotta feed this baby. I gotta like put a roof over this baby's head. But
I have questions for you, and a lot of people, obviously, if you don't know, if you're listening to the show and you don't know, they are currently in pretty much a bitter, gross fight right now. Yeah. The writer's strike is out there, and everything is on reruns. Mm-hmm. Nothing is happening really in show business as far as new content.
Right.
And people are, you can picketing. I see it all, the strike and everything like that. What I want to ask you is, can explain, if you can, to the listener who doesn't really know exactly. Sure. If you could explain what's exactly going on.
Yeah, I think so. What you hear a lot and people talking about is like residuals. That's what you hear the most. But that's like kind of an aside. Like residuals are not the core of this. And residuals, there's like money you get every time something you wrote airs or replays or whatever. So that way, if you write on a sitcom like Friends and then that show runs forever, you get paid a small percentage, but forever, right?
Right. So what he's saying is, if you do a part in a movie or a show and you get paid, but they keep airing it, you'll get little checks here and there. You'll always hear somebody go, "Hey, I just got a check for 12 cents."
Totally.
But that's how it works.
That's how it works. And so that's what people are talking about a lot, but that's not the main fight here. Residuals is a part of it, but it's a small part of it.
Yeah.
The bigger thing, and the reason why this is such like an existential fight, why writers are saying we'll strike as long as we have to for this, is because you got a few big studios basically trying to turn writing as a career into gig working. They want it to be like they want a writer to be like a TaskRabbit, basically.
Right. Okay.
Where it's like, we can turn the tap on and off. We'll pay you per day when we need you for a gig. There's no like if someone Look, writing and driving for Uber, different things. I don't want to make that comparison. But if you're an Uber driver for 30 years and you're the best fucking Uber driver in the world, you're 5 stars all the time. On time to the airport. You never,
no smell.
You get a bottle of water, no smell, no conversation, get it done, you know? At the end of that run, nothing is different. You're an Uber driver. You start an Uber driver, and you don't become the vice president of Uber for being a good driver.
Yep.
And in writing, there's always been a career progression where you start as a staff writer and work your way up to executive producer, someone who knows how to run a set, someone who knows how to run a show, right? And what's happening essentially is studios are like, look, we don't need you there on set while the show is running. We don't need you for 23 weeks. Help us break stories for a month. And then we're going to hand all of those stories that you guys have come up with to 2 writers. They'll do everything from there. We don't need you to go to set. They'll go to set. So they're basically cutting not only like multiple jobs, like 10, 12 jobs, they're cutting weeks of work. So you used to be able to work 40 weeks a year, make a living, and it was a good living. And now they're cutting it to 4 weeks a year, and there's no progression. You don't go, because you were on set and you learned stuff, now you can take a bit more leadership. You never get to set to learn stuff. There's no leadership lessons, right? You're just a guy in a room cranking out
like a
scripts.
comic doing a gig, maybe?
Exactly. And there's no progression from that.
Right. You know? So you're just almost like a hired gun real quick and then gone.
Exactly. And that's what they want, right? And that will break the union. That means, people get their health care benefits because they make this much money, they pay this much money into the union. Yeah. They can't make that much money to pay into the union because they're not getting the weeks of work that they need.
Now, how much does a SAG-AFTRA, how much do they need to make in order to get benefits?
SAG-AFTRA, I'm not sure. For the WGA, it's like $55,000 in a year,
and then you could get your medical benefits.
Benefits for the year.
So I heard recently too that, and this is so great to have you on the show because like people don't hear a lot of times you hear comics on a podcast just talking the same shit.
Sure.
I wanted, obviously we're friends. I miss you, and I wanted to talk to you. But this is like an important thing to talk about because the latest thing, which I think was last week, with that, we'll wait till they start losing their apartments and they start losing their houses before we get going. It's like this thing seems ugly, and I heard Fran Drescher, her speech was pretty cool, man. She was fucking, dude. She came out gangster, dude.
She did,
dude. She came out like I was like, that's the nanny.
Yeah,
like she wasn't annoying. She was like, come on. That would be funny if she did it like that, though. Like in the outfit.
The money.
I'm sickened by this. No, it's really far off, huh, Robby?
Yeah, well, the issue is we don't know how far off it really is because the AMPTP, that's the organization of movie studios and producers, they're not coming to the table to negotiate. So that guy, whoever, or the anonymous source, who's like, we're waiting for them to lose their houses, and he actually said apartments, which is so funny because he's these people are so greedy, and it's like, but also they don't own houses, they're in apartments.
It was almost like a passive aggressive cheap shot,
exactly.
Where he's like, they're going to lose their apartments, their studio.
Yeah, greedy, all they want is money. Also, they can make it 2 more months before they're evicted from their apartments. But so the issue is they're not coming to the table. They're not negotiating with us. They're trying to wait it out. They're doing exactly that. How much pain can they cause, thinking we'll come back groveling to the table, saying, okay, whatever, make the bleeding stop. But writers and actors, we're not like we know how to not work for a long time because we all do, right?
It's always corny to call ourselves artists, but at the end of the day, in this business, there's times where things are moving fast and a lot and consistently, and then there's downtime.
Yes, exactly. And so we know how to manage that. We're used to downtime.
Yes.
So hopefully we're not going to lose our apartments or whatever.
What day did it start? What day it started?
This is I think this is right around day 90 of the writer's strike. And SAG strike was like 2 weeks ago that it started. Yeah.
Okay. So this is going on now.
Yeah.
For a while, 3 months now.
Yeah. Yeah. The last one, the 2007 one lasted 100 days. And this one is a lot. This was a bigger deal than that one. This one is more contentious. What we're fighting for is more important because it's for the future of the profession of writing, truly.
Now I keep hearing this AI thing, and I want you to explain this too, because everyone's like, "Well, it's the AI." So tell me if this is right or whatever. I'm going to try to do it in layman's terms here. AI is basically that you can. Basically, robots or whatever can now write scripts. Yeah. Right. They can you can give a premise and kind of an outline, and then all of a sudden the story is printed. Is that
basically? And it's not going to be at this point. It might not be that good, but you can hand it off to 2 human writers to then punch it up and fix it
instead of a team of
12 breaking stories or whatever. But that's just kind of the early stages of this thing. It's the future of AI that is the real threat to actors as well as writers. And something like AI, improves exponentially, right? So
yeah, of course.
They showed, this is like something like 2 years ago, they took an AI that didn't play chess at all, and they just fed it the rules of chess, right? And then it started playing chess, and it was losing at first, and then it started winning, and then within 3 days, it was beating 50 grandmasters simultaneously at chess, right? And that's what it will do with writing. That's what it will do.
It's going to evolve to the point where it can just do it. The one thing it can't do, which I love, thank God, live comedy. Live stand-up.
Yes.
A robot can't get up there and do that, thank God. But no, it's got to be scary to somebody that writes screenplays, somebody that writes stories.
And that acts, though, because here's down the line, and not far from now, truly, I mean this, I don't want to sound like an alarmist, but like within, I don't know, maybe 18 months, someone will be able to sit down at a keyboard and be like, make me a comedy version of Goodfellas starring Paul Virzi and Giannis or whatever. And it will spit it out, not only just a script, the image, the deep fake image. And it will, there's enough content of you out there. How many hours of podcast
I'm not gonna lie, that sounded pretty interesting. I'm like, Robby, I'll give you a piece of this.
Before you said deep fake, he was like, I kind of like AI.
I was like, all right, dude, so fucking Robby Slowik is the executive producer. Giannis and I got gigs. I mean, things aren't bad.
We get paid on this, right? We got to at least wet our beaks off of this, right?
Take that, Scorsese. No, that's pretty wild, man. And like, that has to be scary. Now, the streaming shit, though, because there's so many with the Hulu and the Apple and the Amazon and the Netflix, that's got to hurt. The amount of content or the amount of things that have to be out there, that has to hurt, right? Water it down a little bit? Or does it help?
Help whose side? Like
the writers?
Or them? I don't think it makes a difference, really.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, if there's so many, can the studios then go, hey, this is like, there's so much, we can't, there's not enough to, or does that mean that the stars of the show get less money?
Maybe. Look, if they have to produce like less content ultimately, but there's so many houses that need content. You know, if it was one game in town, it was Netflix, but there are all of these competing studios who understand that they need to attract eyeballs.
And they all have money, right?
And they all have money. That's
that's what I'm saying. It's not like they're going, well, there's so much out there, we don't have it. They have enough money.
So Moody's, which is like the big like Wall Street analyst that analyzes all of these things for stock, for share value, has come out and said, you guys just pay these guys what they're asking for because it would be nothing for you to absorb these costs. But in letting this strike drag on, you're going to hurt your share price so much and ruin your credit rating that it's going to be a much bigger hit. Because essentially what we're looking at is, and these numbers sound big, but I promise in the grand scheme of show business they're not, is for all three guilds, WGA, SAG, DGA, about $330 million a year, or $1 billion over the 3-year life of the contract. Just last year alone, 7 CEOs took home $700 million in compensation.
Yeah.
So the SAG is 160,000 people. WGA is 9,000 people. That's 170,000 people asking for less than 7 CEOs took home.
Yeah. Yeah, when you put it in perspective like that, it's like a no-brainer. It's like,
it's obvious, right? But these guys are look, these are like your business bro types who are also playing for Wall Street. It's not the old business model. It's not the old business model was so simple, right?
Yeah.
Make a movie for $25 million, put it out in theaters, it makes $70 million, you make $40 million.
Right.
You know? That was it. And it's a great business. You make money. Now the business is go public, have a share price, boost the share price as much as you can. And you do that through streaming and theme parks and the computer. It's just every company is a conglomerate, right? Amazon is a studio. So if Amazon, Apple, who I work for, right? They're worth $1.7 trillion. Like all of their streaming is a loss for them. They don't give a shit. It's barely money to them.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it can have a positive influence on their stock price and perception. So to get their stock prices high, they need to keep costs as low as possible on stuff like this. So that's what they're doing. It's not about the profitability of the actual product, which is profitable. HBO Max, or just Max now, which is so dumb, made $50 million.
By the way, you got to check out Robby's tweets because he's such great. Your tweets are great. But when what did you say, Cinemax? Your tweet on Cinemax.
Yeah, HBO Max is just got a new name, Max. Just Cinemax. Like, what the fuck? You could just do that?
Cinemax was just like, I guess we're done.
I guess we're over.
Cinemax had a mass email that went out, name change meeting tomorrow. At 9 a.m. Yeah, that was great. All right, guys, summer is when it happens. The weather is ready for you to get into the habit of feeling good. If you're looking to push your limits at the gym or upstart your fitness routine, Fitbod can help. I know this personally. It's awesome. The Fitbod app creates customized workouts based on your goals, fitness level, and available equipment. It learns from your previous workouts and adapts as you improve. It's the perfect companion to help you crush your fitness goals this summer. Start making progress towards your fitness goals today with 25% off a Fitbod subscription. Fitbod creates custom workouts based on your personal goals, experience, available equipment, and more. Build your fitness habit and stay consistent all summer long. Keep track of your achievements and personal bests with Fitbod's progress tracking charts. Learn new movements the right way with over 1,400 demonstration videos. This is a great app, especially for people that travel if you're on the go, because it just basically adapts to your habits and what you do, what you have available to you if you're in hotels or whatever. It's great for traveling, and it's basically like having a personal trainer in your pocket. Now, for the great listeners of the Virzi Effect, okay, it is not too late to crush your summer fitness goals. Try Fitbod today. Get 20% off your subscription. Try the app for free at fitbod.me/Virzi. That's Fitbod, FITBOD.me/Virzi for 25% off of your order. You got to check Robby's tweets out. You know, he's such a good writer. What show were you writing for when you were writing for with John?
Right now, I'm still writing for The Problem with Jon Stewart.
Now, that's the other question that I wanted to ask, and I don't mean to, but this is what you do, and I love having you on to talk about this shit. Like I said, I didn't know if multiple streamers was hurting or helping your cause. Right. I didn't know if the amount, so that's, you know, and I guess nobody, like you said, the studios have enough money that there's enough to go around.
That's right.
But the other question is, are you guys allowed now, because I'm hearing different things.
Yeah.
Are you, obviously you can't write for the show, but are you guys allowed to be writing, or is there like a kind of a brotherhood where it's like you don't write shit? Like the pens are down?
Yeah. No, we don't write. If you come see me do a set and it's the same set from 3 years ago, that's why. That's a joke version.
Oh, I was gonna say, dude, don't take it that literally.
If you come see me do a set, I'll be doing new jokes.
I was gonna say, Robby's taking this shit way too seriously.
No. We're not like writing for TV or whatever. But
that is a loyal man.
Yeah, I haven't written a new joke in anticipation of this strike.
I'm on day 91 of this set.
I'm still doing Monica Lewinsky jokes in the clubs.
Robby's still not over the last strike.
Yeah, I'm a union man through and through.
That Robby Slowik kid, boy, that's who you want on your side if you guys are striking. But as far as other stuff, you're just like, so do you guys do like, will the show do daily meetings or weekly meetings?
So we actually meet with John once every kind of like 2 or 3 weeks, just on Zoom, and just like for the record, he's been fucking fantastic through all of this. He's just a really good, solid
Talk
dude.
about a union guy, dude. That guy will if that guy if Jon Stewart is like all in on a cause, dude, buckle up. Because he's going to Congress.
He really is.
No, dude, he's going to Congress.
Dude, he knows him. I went there with him. I went down to Congress with him. The day the PACT Act passed, getting medical care for veterans who are being denied it from burn pits.
You were there when he was like pointing at the thing going, these men.
I was there. I was sitting next to him on the Senate floor as it was one of the craziest moments of my life. Truly one of the craziest moments of my life. Because we're just sitting up on top of the Senate floor watching them vote. And I'm like sitting there cracking. First of all, they put the fear of God in you. Like Senate security is like, don't say a fucking word.
Dude, how great is this? This information's great.
If I see your mouth moving, it's like, we will arrest you, basically.
Really?
And they're saying this, they're not just like, you're dumb. They're saying this to Jon Stewart, like they don't give a fuck. They take it very seriously.
So when you're sitting on the Senate floor and they're doing votes, dude, you sit there and you shut the fuck up.
Yes, but then like John starts kind of like whispering some jokes, and suddenly there's like three. Right, we're all whispering, we're all fucking making jokes, and it's.
And here's the thing: you can't tell comics.
That's the thing.
Like it's almost like when you're a little kid and you're in church.
Yes.
It's like you can't.
Yes.
You can't tell funny comics and good writers, hey, keep it down in here without somebody going, dude, fuck it, look at that guy's outfit. They allowed that in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I can't talk. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So you got to see them. You were there with him when he was like. And I saw the firemen that were like sitting around him.
Yeah.
And they were just like, you could tell these guys were like, probably like not Daily Show guys. And they were like, love him.
Dude, it's so just not an act for this guy. He's so authentic with this stuff. I'm talking like he was working on top of all the other shit, probably 30 hours a week of extra time advocating for veterans, advocating for these people who the country makes a promise to, a very stern promise. You go fight this war for us, we will take care of you. And then the country turns their back on them after that because it's too expensive.
It's crazy.
And there's no one, there are people fighting for them, right? But it helps to have someone who, you know, what John says is like, I don't have much, but what I can do is I can shine a spotlight on something, or I can amplify voices.
Yeah,
and he goes all out doing that.
No, he does, like, you know, and knowing you and your beliefs and who you are, like, he's like a perfect guy for you to be working with.
I couldn't be. Yeah.
Like, it couldn't be a better, you know, thing. And he does seem like a guy that will, like, unite people, but like you said, more importantly, put a spotlight on things that maybe people, and it's good for, and here's the thing, Jon Stewart, even though he's like a little older, he was the Daily Show guy like in its heyday, and people respect him. Yeah. And when he was a Daily Show guy, and this is nothing against what's his name, Trevor Noah, nothing against him, but from what I saw and the clips that I saw, and when I see even Jon Stewart when he went on Colbert after, he seems very fair, and he seems very honest regardless of partisanship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He seems like he's just like what's right. He seems like he's what's right, and if that's against any narrative, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I think that having a guy like that shine a spotlight is more important.
100%. And John was really good. You know, I think that's one of the like earlier conversations we ever had, like working for him. He's like, look, you're gonna. There's going to be different sides of arguments, and no one's going to like your take all the time. But you just have to know that, like, we believe in our take. That's our North Star. And whatever they're saying out there, we know that whatever we put out there, we believe in it.
Right.
And he lives that. Yeah.
That's amazing. And, like, I love the thing he did with Colbert.
It's the best.
When Colbert was like, so you're thinking it maybe came from the Wuhan lab? And he goes, the name, dude. And he just stuck with it. And, like, and you could tell, but you could see, I saw anybody who can read things, you could tell Colbert, like, however he views it, he respects John so much that he kind of was just like, all right. Did you saw that, right?
I did see it.
Yeah.
And there's two things I think you saw in that moment. Like, Colbert was uncomfortable letting him do it because they're old friends, but also, like, you kind of remember, like, oh, that's right, John is a stand-up comic, you know?
Yes.
That was a comedy, that was a stand-up bit delivered, because you see him behind a desk so much, he's breaking down this complex shit, but also he's just a fucking comic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's cool. And you could see, like, Colbert was like, okay, well, I'm done here. So this is, you're taking this as this is your show now, which was awesome. So do you guys have ideas? Are they giving you ideas, windows when you think, or it could literally be the next 10 days, or it could be another 3 months?
We don't know.
That's where it's at?
We really don't know, because there's no one negotiating, right? The feeling is that now that SAG has joined the fight, because when writers strike, it will have long-term impacts, right? It means like 6 months from now, we can't produce shit or whatever, but we still have stacks of scripts that we can put into production, right? But when actors strike, that day, Hollywood shuts down. They can't do anything. And even shows that are like reality shows, you better believe the hosts or whatever are SAG. So like Dancing with the Stars is filled with the stars are SAG, or the host is SAG. So all that reality stuff is tough as well. They can't really do anything.
Like Bachelor, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now it's like when because not only are they going to be behind on scripts for 6 months with nothing to come out, you don't have any actors to.
No one's going to
do it.
So it's really going to force their hand. And there's a bit of a fight happening between the legacy networks and the streamers, right? There's some people who say that this whole thing is kind of good for Netflix. Netflix can kind of hold out because they have so much content, and they're not releasing movies theatrically, so they don't need that money. They don't have a TV station. They don't need that money. So they can kind of watch everyone else burn money, because everything else is like legacy and connected to legacy somehow. Netflix is kind of, and maybe Amazon are the only two that are just kind of like, they don't have to worry about it. But when fall comes here, that's how ABC makes all their money. CBS, Fox, and Fox is Disney. That's how they make all their money, selling ads on new shows. And they can't do that anymore.
And all the stuff comes out, October? Like usually September, October. Yeah. So I think I think by the fall it's gonna have to budge.
Yeah, the hope is that by end of August, because the actors need to get back to work for them to make any, for those studios to make money. But I just don't know. They're also, both sides are pretty resolute right now.
Yeah, dude. When that guy said what he said, or whoever said that, I was like, "Oh, they're going in." Dude.
Yeah.
And then I saw Ron Perlman, and I was just
fucking best.
Yeah, but didn't he pull back after? He's like, "No, I don't mean I'm going to burn somebody."
When I said I was going to burn down his house, I didn't mean
I'm an actor. Yeah, I think he went a little too mafia, and I think people called him on it. Yeah. They were like, "Ron, you just basically threatened to to blow up." Yeah. Wait a minute, did Ron Perlman just say he's going to blow up an executive's house? Because that's what it sounded like. He was like, I get emotional.
If Pesci in real life said, I'll break your fucking legs, you're like, no, you won't.
No, you won't. 4'4".
What are you talking about? Sounds scary, the little guy.
Yeah, no, man, I saw that, and it's pretty ugly. And now, are you doing more stand up or?
I am, but it's also tough because I've got some headlining weekends and stuff coming, but also, if the strike is over and then things get a bit off, but I'm just gonna be like, I booked this while there was a strike, so I'm going. I got to go do it.
Something tells me that all these people are on vacation anyway, and they're kind of just like, listen, September 1.
Yeah.
It's like, we got Barbados the last week.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna rejuvenate.
I gotta get this sun. It's fine. I got Samoret's coming up.
They call up and they go, "God, writers, SAG, we're giving you everything you want. August 20th." You guys are like, dude, it's like 10 days.
We'll get back to you. We got.
We have to.
Can I get another pina colada, please? One more pina. Double.
This all inclusive is incredible. Oh, dude, because I know. I was thinking that some of the writers that do stand up, they're probably trying to load up dates.
Yeah,
they're probably trying to load up dates while they're like, hey, at least I'll make money, that way.
Yeah,
and I got to be honest, man. I have never, and this is, people could be like, oh, Paul, you piece of shit. I've never, I'm not part of the writers thing, but I am part of SAG. But seeing the writers, I have never protests.
Yeah.
And I wish you could do it in the winter, right? But dude, these guys were fucking, I saw the protests and they're like, dudes are sweating.
Yeah.
And they're just walking around, and it's it sucks because you're like, these guys are losing money every minute.
Yeah. I would say this, the protests were so they were great before the actors struck, because we were actually shutting down productions. It was you were taking action, right? Because IATSE, who's been amazing, that's all the Teamsters and crew people. So any that's lighting, sound,
on the set,
right?
Yeah.
Those people they're the most union people you'll ever meet. They live and die union, and they won't cross a picket line. So if writers are picketing, they won't cross the line. So we were shutting down productions. You show up to where they're filming or shooting something.
Yeah, you're working with no lights.
Exactly. They're not crossing the line. So we were shutting down productions. We were hurting the studios. So it felt like, fuck, this is tactical.
Well, you're making a noise. You're making a movement happen.
Exactly. You're making them feel like, oh shit, there is a consequence for these writers not being here. It's shutting down productions. Yeah.
Right.
They were feeling it, and there's amazing solidarity from the people on IATSE who were just incredible throughout all of this. But now that actors are striking and everything's shut down anyway, now it is just walking in front of a corporate building with a sign in 105-degree weather. Now it's lost that you feel like you're in a fight. But the symbolism of it is important. But it definitely, you were really doing something in the beginning.
Yeah, and there was a director thing that got resolved, right? Is that?
Yeah, the directors, I think I'm just not even supposed to talk about it. But
okay.
No, but
I don't want to make you.
They just, they're always they're kind of the adults in the room is how they see themselves, and they're management in some ways. So they're closer to the studio heads, and so they cut a deal. They're kind of teacher's pet. That's how they're viewed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. I hope that everything. I had a project, a really kind of cool thing happening, and all of a sudden it just shuts down and hurt. We were in the midst of writing something, and then it's all right, well, now we're going to wait. But look, if everything happens for a reason in this thing, where all of a sudden everybody gets what they need and deserve and happy, and studios can go on and people actually get paid what they're, nobody's asking for, the writers aren't saying, dude, we all need boats.
Right.
We all need, you're asking to be treated and be paid fairly.
And we're also not telling the executives that they can't keep that. Keep your fucking yacht. Keep making $40 million a year or whatever. That's fine. The money is there. Just pay the other people fairly. That's it.
And if they all did their part of it, then everybody's kind of happy. And like, and also, don't you have to realize why you're making $40 million a year?
Exactly.
You know, these shows, that's the other thing. And people never think of it like that. When you're at a barbecue, what do you do? When you're at a barbecue and you're playing fucking beanbag toss and you're having a drink, what do you do? Hey, dude, what show you watching? Dude, you watching Yellowstone? Yeah. Hey, you watching Ozark? That's the, dude, episode 5 was one of the greatest things. That's the writers.
Yeah.
That's the writers. It's people that you don't see. It's not the actors. Actors are very good at playing pretend with a good script.
Yeah.
I remember there's a cool story. I was at Brad Garrett's comedy club. If anybody doesn't know, Brad Garrett played Ray Romano's brother Robert in Everyone Loves Raymond. And I was just talking to him in the green room, and I go, dude, Raymond, man, it's just it's you know, through the test of time, right? It's just a great show. And he goes, Paul, man, it's just the writing, man. He goes, it's just the writers.
Yeah,
he's like, and listen, I mean, he's being humble. He's definitely being humble. I mean, the guy can do impressions. He did Jackie Gleason. The guy's incredible.
Yeah.
And he can take what's on the paper and make it great. Yeah. Like that whole cast, Ray and all of them, Peter Boyle, I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
But writers are the ones that like make the problem in the episode, then make it come together in a solution, and they give you the thread line of a story.
Writing is the engine, you know, but you need everyone there, and amazing actors elevate good writing. And then just look, you ever watch like an indie movie and you're looking at the lighting and you're like, what the fuck is this? What time of day is it supposed to be? Why is there a shadow on half of this woman's face?
I was just gonna say, dude, there's a shadow of the light man on the curtain.
So it's like everyone is doing an important thing to seamlessly make something feel real, like it comes to life. Truly, everyone should be paid fairly for their contribution to that.
When I did Bupkis and I went in there for Peacock, for Pete's show, I looked around and when I saw the amount of like, dude, so it's not like you're watching it on TV, and you see us in rehab in a circle, right? And you see me and Joey Gay, Machine Gun Kelly, Pete, and you see this, and you see the guy. Dude, there is the crew around the room, the amount of cameras, the distance, the director, the producers, everyone, and you're just going, dude, this is one small scene.
Yeah.
This is one small scene. And then writers are in there, because writers will like all of a sudden they make a quick adjustment to this, or hey, when you do this, and you're going like, this is like you said, this is a team effort, big, man.
Totally.
And it's like you said, good writing makes a great actor can make the writing even pop more.
That's right.
But you definitely need it. And but I realized one thing, and this is you being humble, because what you're not saying is very talented people and very good actors and good stand-ups can't do the writing properly. And this is how I know it, because I was working on a project, we're working on a TV show, and all of a sudden a professional writer who does it for a living comes in, and you're going, yeah, so we're thinking this, and then they just go, yeah, but what about if you walked in that room and then this, and this happened, and you were like, that's why I'm telling dick jokes in a strip mall tonight, because you understand, it's what you do.
Yeah.
And that is why I always just say, when you talk about, Game of Thrones being your favorite show of all time, or Breaking Bad, it's like those people in that writer's room, dude, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
And it's important, and I hope it works out, because I want to continue to see those shows, dude.
And I think it will. I think ultimately it will. I think that we've hurt some egos here, and you're not, like, these aren't bullshit people, right? There's a certain type of personality that ascends to CEO of a media conglomerate, and that ascends to these $50-60 million jobs. And I don't want to say it's like because they're brilliant or geniuses, but like they're probably assholes to some degree. And they have an ego, and we've hurt their ego, and they're going to hurt us back. And that's just kind of the circle of things. Yeah. But it will land at a place that'll work for everyone ultimately.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you got to check out Robby's shit, dude, because you're a great writer.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So let's talk about shows here that what are you missing? right now? Are you missing anything?
I mean, we've been lucky. There's been such like backlog of like stuff like out there. So and I've been home with the baby and Casey. You know,
so you've been watching anything?
No, we've actually been watching stuff because we're
you've been watching
the baby, holding the baby on the couch, hanging out. We just watched The Bear. Did you watch The Bear, by the way?
So tell me about The Bear, because I'm hearing mixed things. Somebody was like, dude, this is a great show, and then somebody goes, dude, what are people talking about? This is not good. What's the deal?
It's fucking fantastic.
Okay,
it's so good.
Okay.
It's so good.
Okay.
See, there's an episode in season 2. I want you to watch it. I think it's one of the best things I've ever seen on TV.
Really?
In my life, yeah.
Okay, no, you telling me that, I'm definitely gonna watch it. But people were telling me, and someone's like, dude, does anybody else think this sucks? And somebody's like, dude, The Bear's great. My neighbors, who I really respect, and he's an animator for a big company and stuff, and he told me, he's like, dude, they were like, The Bear is great.
There's a dude, your other neighbor who does like sound installation stuff.
Oh yeah,
he looks so much like one of the characters on The Bear. Every time I watch it, I turn to Casey. I'm like, this looks exactly.
My neighbor Jeff.
He looks exactly like they're like the same personality. I'm like, Jeff could have just slotted
Jeff
into this
loves
part
you too. He's always like,
seamlessly.
every time he comes over, he's like, is Robby and Casey coming over? He loves you guys. But a show that I think is incredible, dude. It's incredible. The writing was incredible. Was The Offer? Did you see The Offer?
No, I didn't. My buddy was in that. I didn't see it.
Who?
He had a small part. He was my roommate in LA, a comic named Sandro.
So The Offer is basically about how Al Ruddy, I think that was he was the producer of The Godfather.
Yeah.
And it's basically how him and Francis Ford Coppola came together, and they're making The Godfather, dude. And Bob Evans, who's the head of Paramount, is the guy that they kind of got to talk to and they got to do this with. And he wants, like, I mean, I don't want to give it away, but I mean, you learn about some of the most iconic scenes of The Godfather, what happened. You learn about how Francis Ford Coppola would go to, it was based on Mario Puzo's book. Yeah. And that, you see that. Like, you see, like, how when he wrote it, he was like a broke guy and he had other books not do well. And then this thing just pops. Yeah. And it starts going, and they want to make this thing. And Coppola's like, dude, you got to get, and this is not giving anything away because it's kind of known, but he's like, you got to get me Pacino. Yeah. And Bob Evans, the head's like, no. And because Pacino was a small-time stage actor, right? Like, not even Broadway. Yeah. And like somebody saw him, and he was like starting to make a little noise, right? And they were like, dude, that's and they were like, no. So you see all the things, and like Ruddy was like, hold on, let me. He kind of was like the guy. He was kind of putting out fires. But then another huge part of the show is that Joe Colombo, the mafia, the mafia guy, he was reaching out to them, going, hey, dude, this doesn't happen, or cars are going to be blown up randomly. And then Al Ruddy, he goes to him and he goes, no, Joe. So they become actually, he goes, dude, we're not talking about the mafia. Yeah, we're talking about family. We're talking, and all of a sudden he spun it where he's almost going to be like, no, this is about. So then like what's his name was going, oh, okay, and they start to become like friends. Yeah. But then that gets out. Yeah. Dude, so it's all of these different things, but iconic scenes of The Godfather, problems making it, how the cast came together, how they got Brando. Yeah. They wanted Brando. They go to his fucking house in LA, dude. You see all of these things, and I heard it's like exactly what happened. Dude, it was, I swear to God, I think I'm gonna say it's probably the top 2 series I've ever seen. Really? I mean, I was absolutely riveted. It was old Hollywood. Yeah. It was, but like all the things that they had to do. And again, the writing, like the show was, because you first hear that, you're like, oh, and what's his name? Miles Teller? Yeah. Miles Teller played the producer, and he was fantastic. This is, you're deeply Italian a lot of the time, but this is one of your more deeply Italian takes. Yeah, so I know, like, because if two best pieces of media ever, The Godfather and The Offer, about the making of The Godfather. And then if I really think about it, Godfather 2. Godfather 2, probably. For me... yeah, if this was about the making of Casablanca, I'd be like, this is a piece of shit. I don't care. So they go to Clark Gable's house. He's kicking a 14-year-old down the stairs. And he cursed for the first time. I mean, he said, damn, and people lost their shit. Lost their fucking minds. Oh, dude. No, but that, like seeing stuff like that, it just makes me go like, hey, man, what else is gonna go on? But I'm glad the Bear is something that I could watch. That's, dude, how many seasons is it? Is it 2? And I think the second is better than the first, but the first is really good too. It's about a cook, a chef? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it's really good. But that, I just want to, you're talking about like, Francis Ford Coppola and Robert Evans and like these guys were, just to bring it back to the strike a little bit, right? You got the producer, it is Robert Evans, right? Who, it was Evans was the head of
Yes.
Paramount.
Okay.
The producer was Ruddy.
Okay.
Al Ruddy.
But I think Evans was okay. But
They were working.
yeah,
They were working.
Yeah, I got something confused. But my point is, the studio heads were like, they were people who had worked in show business forever, and they had these relationships and connections, and they loved show business, and they loved operating on instinct and taking risks, right?
Yeah.
And being like, mob movies weren't really a thing at that point, right? In the mid 70s when Godfather came out.
Well, that's why that's so funny you said that, because Coppola was so frightened.
Yeah.
That like they're in the theater like listening, and like they were just so frightened about it because his other books had failed, and his wife was like, "What do you?" And he goes, I got this thing about like a mob film, but I don't think anybody's gonna wanna.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about what we know was this came out in like 71.
77, I think maybe.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, maybe the first one, but it was being written earlier.
Yeah.
So it's like you're talking about a time
Yeah.
where like gangster shit wasn't
right.
So it's almost like a chance you're taking,
Yes.
right?
And so that was what made a great like studio head and a great producer. They would see these intangible things and they'd take a risk, and they loved show business, and everybody got paid. And now it's these vultures from Silicon Valley. These are tech people. They don't love show business. They didn't work in show business.
See, that's a great point.
They're business people who work with computers.
And it's so good, dude. I'm telling you, man, you really should. Like, I would really like love for you to watch The Offer and tell me what you think, because I think it is so show business in Hollywood, but they cared about it.
Yes.
Like Bob Evans, you see him there, and like he's in his office and he's like drinking a whiskey, and he's like living and dying with projects.
Yeah.
He's like, this has to work. We got to get the right actor. They go out to lunches and they talk, and it mattered.
Yes.
Where like now it does feel like just crank it out.
Just crank it out.
Just
crank
crank
it. And
it
also
out.
just the difference between that, like, it's like that sabermetric, like we need a hitter who gets a 1.3 WAR and an OPS versus like, someone smoking a cigar, drinking a coffee, being like, I like the look at his kids, swing or whatever, like it's just more fun.
Get him out of the bulb. I got a hunch.
Exactly.
Well, that was old baseball.
Yeah.
Now it really is like, well, that movie. Did you see Moneyball?
Yes.
Yeah, Moneyball's great.
Great movie.
And Jonah Hill was fantastic in it. But Moneyball is just about how like they flipped it on its head, where they were just like, no, for less money, let's just get the on base percentage.
Totally.
As opposed to somebody that's more talented.
Yeah.
And that's why at the beginning of the movie, like the old school scouts.
Yeah.
Were going like, Billy, what are you talking about? We can't. And he's going like, yeah, that's the old way. And the guy's like, good luck. You fucking nerd.
You nerd.
Yeah. I actually love the other side. I finally, and not that I'm not trying to paint this picture that I know the other side of it. I'm a stand-up comedian first. But now that I've done some acting and I've done some things, it really is fascinating and so dope what like the other side of things are. Like when you just like, hey, why don't you say this line this way?
Yeah.
Like in the middle.
Yeah.
You're just like hanging out and you're just going, all right, I got my lines. I go, no, do you know what? Scrap that. I remember when I did one of the coolest, it's actually a funny story, was when I was going to do, I was going to play this part in King of Staten Island. And I was like so nervous because like Judd Apatow did Anchorman. Yeah. And like, that's all I was thinking about. I'm just thinking about, holy shit, like I'm going to be working with a guy that did like
a legend.
Pretty much like some of the most iconic comedy scenes of the last, I would actually say that Judd Apatow is kind of like more of like a maybe a modern day type of Mel Brooks in a way, like something like that, And so I had my lines, and it was like, 7 or 8 lines, and it's just me and Judd on set. And then like I get there, and on my way there, I get a phone call, and they go, yeah, dude, you know what? We were thinking, I don't think the fireman would say that. Just scratch that. We'll figure it out when you get here, dude. And now I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like on my way to my trailer, dude. Like I learned for 3 months.
Yeah.
Like I was in my bedroom, like, fuck, I'm scared.
In the mirror. And,
like in the mirror. And I'm like, dude, Judd Apatow. And then they're like, nah, we'll figure it out. We'll yell you lines.
Yeah.
And it was like this loose. But then you kind of see it come together, and you're like, oh shit, dude, this is just everybody collectively. It's really cool. And then the things that you're afraid of don't happen.
Yeah.
And then some things that you don't think will happen. And it's just like a really cool thing.
It's
man.
a whole team thing. And a guy like you in that scenario is a gift, because you know how to deliver lines comedically. Even when you know how to, and how to put your spin on it, and that makes a huge difference.
Well, it was funny because when I did Bupkis, I was a degenerate gambler who couldn't stop gambling on the Giants. So I was like, Pete, do you got to send me a script?
Yeah, I think I got this. Don't worry, I got this.
And when they were like, just do your own thing, it was like, dude, it was just so fucking fun, man.
Yeah.
But I did see how somebody on the, somebody who's in production, how their attitude can like change things.
Completely.
Like, dude, a director can come up to you and just put his hand on your shoulder and be like, dude, that was great. That was awesome. Here, on this next one, just do, and you're like, oh, this guy's this guy's cool.
Yeah.
He's getting like the best out of
Getting the
talent.
best out of you, like building trust and that. Yeah.
And then, but also there was a writer there who's like, hey, dude, fucking this thing we wrote, but dude, and you're going, oh, he's so smart that he could figure it out.
Right.
He sees my voice now, and he's
Yes.
like, oh, let's just scratch that and do that. And no, that's why I wanted you on the thing, because you wrote for, you wrote for John for not only this Apple thing, but also you were going to do the thing that was like
right after the Daily Show. So this is my second go around with John. Yeah.
And what didn't something happen like with technology was too far? What was
it was like this new.
This
thing
was
called,
HBO, right?
Yeah,
Max?
yeah, it was HBO. It was rapid animation technology, where it was like we were going to put out animated content the same day. You know, it's quick 1 day turnaround, not even 1 day, 6 hour turnaround of animated news of the day. We had two like news organizations.
So it's going to be up to speed animation.
And they can kind of do that now.
And you're like, that's why it didn't work.
That's 100% why it didn't work. Yeah.
Because it was just too much to do.
We couldn't do it fast. Like at best we could get like 1.5 minutes of shaky animation out in a day. And we were just like, this isn't working. And one of the writers,
you guys are in the room, like, whoops.
Dude, we spent 10 months trying to figure this out. And one of the writers says to John, he's like, it seems like we can't put up enough like content to have a deep take and a short take. Like Twitter's going to beat us to it. So what are we going to do? And John like is sitting there and he goes, it's almost like this was a bad idea. And then he starts chatting. He starts talking for a minute. And I'm just watching this like snowball gather and gather.
Boy.
And then by the end of his like 7 minutes of talking, he's like, you know what? Let's scrap it. It's over. And he just, in that decision he made, in that moment.
You were in the room when he did it?
He made that decision. Like he literally talked himself into like someone, we always make fun of the writers still. We still text him because he asked an innocent enough question. He didn't know it was the question that was going to end the show, you know?
That kid goes home. He's like, sweetie, I think I ruined it.
I think I got 80 people fired today.
Yeah. No, man, but he's like, it's so great that he just has to like, to have that, to just be like, you know what? No.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Why are we going to waste time?
It was the right call. Yeah. It was the right call.
Well, like, I think in that moment of realization, he probably understood that it couldn't be done.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly
like,
right.
Like it would just, or the delays that it would take.
It was not possible at the time. It just wasn't. I think they can do it now, but this was 7 years ago or whatever, 2016. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you and him are good friends.
No. He's my boss, but we're like, he's very like, he's cool and the nicest guy, and we'll chat. And he did hire me again, but like, I've never texted him to be like, John, what's up, buddy? Like,
oh, you can't be like, hey, dude, let's go get a burger?
No, absolutely not. But almost nobody can. Like the people who can are Dave Chappelle and Bruce Springsteen, I think so.
He's like, all right, Robby, I got a call from you and Chappelle.
Who should I? Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen is such a big.
They're like buddies. The only time I've ever seen John be like name droppy or starstruck is he had to leave early once to go to Bruce Springsteen's birthday party, and he kept saying it. He's like, and I gotta leave early, Bruce Springsteen's birthday
That's
party.
So funny. This Bruce guy.
Bruce wants me over his party.
Bruce, dude, people love Bruce Springsteen.
They do. Oh, he's
no, dude. Like people are like, dude, I've seen him 22 times. Yeah. I've seen him in every city. I go every time, and I'm just going like, I get it, but is it that?
These guys are like, he gets me, man. It's like he's been famous for 45. He's been a superstar.
He gets me is the funniest, most delusional thing.
Yes.
No, he doesn't get you. He's singing a song that you like.
Yeah,
and yeah,
he's been famous since the Carter administration, and he's like, you know what it's like on those factory floors across America. You know when that closing bell rings and you got to punch your time card. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
It's like, Bruce, you have never.
You live in a palace.
Yeah, he does he does talk that shit about blue collar shit. It's like, dude, you just sold 70,000 tickets and you're going on a private jet in an hour. Yeah, Bruce. What's his name? Is retiring the Garden. I saw him at the Garden. It was Joel.
Billy Joel. I saw him 3 months or this year, like February.
Me too.
Fucking awesome, amazing.
We saw him we saw him. He did two, right?
Yeah, I saw him a few months back. So.
I did too, and like he's got it still, huh?
Dude, he's so great. He's so like, he's funny. He's energetic.
Did you go to the one where his daughter came out and sang? Oh, okay, his daughter came out and did the vocals of one of the songs while he played the piano. But yeah, that like him and Springsteen, dude, talk about the test of time.
Yeah, Billy Joel said he's finally retiring, but he was like, I will keep doing Madison Square Garden once a month until I don't sell it out. And he sold it out every time that he finally had to be like, you know what, I'm just actually fucking done.
That was like his workout room.
Yeah.
It was literally like us doing a set at like New York Comedy Club or the Stand.
Yeah.
He was just like, and then he was just like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna go to the Hamptons.
My backyard.
He's like, I'm gonna go to the Hamptons. We're like, whoops, that's bad. Yeah. He was waiting for a dip, and they were like, dude, we're gonna keep coming.
We're gonna keep coming.
Yeah, and Elton John hung it up.
Yeah.
He hung it up.
Yeah. All these dudes are like, they all look ridiculous. God, I love all of them, but they all just like the white cap teeth.
Oh, dude, I mean,
I'm
not trying to, I don't never want to shit on anybody, but dude, Madonna, it's got to be over, dude. Yeah. It's got to be over.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to be 70 soon and you trying to look like a teenager. It's really bad.
It's like off-putting, yeah.
And it's sad because it's almost like you're trying to hang on to relevance that just you don't need.
Right. You don't need it, or you can stay relevant in another way, but like being hot it's not going to be the thing.
And how cool is it to like walk away just walk away for a while and just be like, yeah, dude, I'm living in the country, I'm chilling.
Or just grow. Look, like Dolly Parton is still fucking out there doing stuff, and people love her because she's not like trying to like be 25 still, you know?
Yeah, no, she understands she's like almost 80.
Exactly, and it's like it's okay. And please, Madonna, please age. It's okay. It's okay.
Speaking of the getting older, I heard that Scorsese is doing another one with DiCaprio and.
Is he really?
And De Niro. Mike, can you look that up? I think it's so I think it's Scorsese, DiCaprio, and De Niro plays the bad guy.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, because they're like, I'm glad he's doing one because they're getting up there, man.
Yeah.
But that'll be I think, I mean, Scorsese rarely misses.
No, he doesn't really. He doesn't. He's so fucking good. He's just so good. Some of these guys who are like they hit that level. You're like, there's no accent. These guys are fucking amazing.
I want to ask you about this because I mean, Robby. By the way, Robby's the type of guy that when I have a joke, and I think it is even remotely in the ballpark of something I might have heard, I'll always call you and you'll go, that is completely different. You're a lunatic, but you're somebody that I respect. And you're somebody that I love the opinion. And did you see it, Mike? Or?
Yeah, it's Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes. Who's in it?
DiCaprio, Lily Gladstone, Brendan Fraser, Jesse Plemons, Robert De Niro. Yeah.
That's good. That's gonna be.
That'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, just those names are like, all right, I gotta, he can't get enough of DiCaprio and De Niro, and it's like, and they work so good together.
Yeah.
That it's like two people that know each other on a podcast. It's like, oh, okay, well, this is gonna be.
It's
great.
a Western.
What?
A Western crime.
Really?
Movie. That sounds really interesting.
No, dude, that's gonna be.
And I love the new Brendan Fraser research. It's exciting.
Yeah,
for me.
No, it's great. It's great that because he just disappeared. Whatever. Well, he was one of those guys.
Something happened to him.
What did happen? Because
something happened. Like I think didn't he like get like blackballed because he kind of accused people of like.
He got sexually assaulted. By male.
He got sexually
producers.
assaulted by like somebody big in the thing, and kind of got blackballed when he kind of alluded to it.
Huh.
And then went into something that was horrible because he probably felt like, when you go through that, you feel abandoned when you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
And you also feel like, oh my God, my career is surrounded. This is surrounding my career, and now it's going to take away. And then for him to come back and win an Oscar, dude, and all that stuff. I'll be honest with you, Don. I'm not trying to be mean. When I couldn't watch the whale, when I just saw the outfit and I didn't want to be sad, dude. He was sweating. I was just like, dude, I get it. He's gonna die. I could, you know what I mean? It was one of those where and somebody actually texted me and goes, dude, don't see it. It's you don't have to. I literally watched interviews on it and watched watch certain clips, and I was so hard. Like, I was just like, that's so sad, dude, that I'm like, I get what happens when he like cried and was like, I'm trying. I was like, all right, dude, I'm good. I saw it.
I'm good.
I saw it.
I've seen enough fat guys die. I played hilarities in Cleveland.
And then I got mad, and then I did the reverse thing where I'm like, get off the couch, you fat fuck, walk. And then I didn't realize, my positive mind was like, help yourself, you fucking victim.
You're gonna Tony Robbins them through the TV.
Why can't you see your ankles? No. What do you think? This is a big debate. Mike, you could jump in on this too. Mike Albanese, of course, sits in as producer when I do it not from home and stuff, and we send it out to the great Andrew Themeles, who loves you.
Love Andrew.
Andrew was like, dude, you got to get Robby. And I'm like, yeah, no, we tried, and here we are. But we send it out to the Beverly Hills Kid, Andrew Themeles, when we're done. But I want to ask you guys both this. I always get pushed back on this. And it's probably stupid to say since I'm in the business, and I basically alluded to the fact that I want to continue to act and do more acting. So I probably shouldn't say this, but I want to talk about Tarantino. Okay,
yeah.
And he's Italian, so What do you think? how many more? He's got 9 and he wants to make his 10th.
One more,
Well, he
yeah.
wants one more to make 10.
Yeah.
What's your thing on him? Is it all? Are you a guy that says Tarantino can't miss, hasn't missed, they're all incredible? Are you a guy that is like, well, because then there's guys that make excuses where they're like, no, he just tried this thing and he wanted it to be this.
Yeah.
Because he's a weird one where I'll watch something of his that people don't like. Like
Right.
people didn't like the Hateful Eight or some people. I thought, dude, I was
I like
like,
Hateful Eight.
I love the Hateful
I
Eight.
loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I loved Once Upon a
Fucking
Time,
loved it.
but I didn't love Jackie Brown, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest. You know, and then people are like, what? No, watch it again. And it's like, are you? So I guess my question is, are you debating it because he did Pulp Fiction and Once Upon a
Right.
Time, or is Jackie Brown really good? Because he's a tricky one because he's throwing me for some loops.
Yeah. I didn't like Kill Bill, either of them. The Kill Bills did not work for me at all.
Dude, I mean, that's why Robby Slowik. I just got the chills.
you didn't like Kill Bill?
Dude, I said to somebody, I go, listen, I understand what you're trying. So I said, I don't like Kill Bill. Someone goes, it was like recent. It might have been on my 4th of July
Yeah.
person. Someone goes, what?
Yeah.
What?
I hate
You
him.
didn't like Kill Bill? And I'm like, dude, I really didn't.
I just didn't like it.
I didn't like it. I'm not saying that I don't love what he does. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I just don't. Listen, if somebody makes 9 movies, if your favorite musician makes 10 albums,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like all. I love Nas. Nas is one of my favorite rappers of all
Yeah.
time. I love him. Coming up when I was in high school, and he came out with the first one, which was Illmatic. Incredible. He's made like 7 or 8 albums. I like 3 or 4 of them. That's not saying I'm not shitting on Nas.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Tarantino's not. But I didn't like Kill
You're not
Bill.
going to come up with 10 perfect movies. It's just not going to happen. No one's going to do it.
Well, Scorsese, but no, I'm kidding. I'm biased for like any mob movie guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know Tarantino's Italian, but he
even
never
he's
made.
got Shutter Island or whatever the hell that was. Or
Oh, Shutter Island, yeah.
Exactly. You blocked it from your memory.
Yeah. It had that twist in the end, but yeah, well, it wasn't one of those where you're like, fuck. You know, but no, the Kill Bills I did not like.
Yeah.
Jackie Brown, dude, was tough for me. I was
Yeah.
also young. Listen, I was younger, and
I
it's
saw
coming
Jackie
off
Brown young, and I don't really remember it. The only thing I remember is Robert De Niro having sex with like Pam Grier for a second. That's my only
No,
image.
he had sex with Bridget Fonda.
Okay.
A young Bridget Fonda, but it was also after Pulp Fiction, and I remember, dude, there was this black dude in the theater, and I don't know if he went like, oh, come on, man, or, like, or just like, or if there were people who fell asleep. I saw people leave because no, but here's the thing: in defense of those people,
Yeah.
you just saw Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So if you see Pulp Fiction and you got the fucking,
Yeah.
the bad motherfucker, brains blown out and all that,
Yeah.
and then you go into Jackie Brown, such a different speed.
Right.
But somebody said recently to me, who was it? It was a comedian friend of mine in LA. Goes, watch Jackie Brown again. It's not bad. But yeah, no, Kill Bills and stuff like that. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, dude.
Fucking loved
Dude,
that
how
movie.
great was that?
It was so fucking good. It was one of my favorite, maybe my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Dude, he was insane
It
in
was
that.
amazing. Man.
He's a kid that doesn't miss.
Yeah.
He really doesn't really miss. And I didn't see the one with the bear.
Yeah, I mean,
The
except for,
rep-
I guess, Shutter Island. But no, I've actually never seen, I don't know if I've even seen Shutter Island. He was in it, wasn't he?
Yeah. Shutter Island had a crazy twist. You should watch it. I think it was Mark Ruffalo. I think it was DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo, and then the head of the place. But the twist at the end is really dark and like, oh god, that's rough. But DiCaprio, I didn't see the. Did you see the one with the bear? The
Revenant. No, I didn't see
No,
it.
you see that, Mike?
I did. I enjoyed it.
Was it good?
It was good. It was the right amount of action and the right amount of
Was it the right amount of bear attack?
Mike auditioned to be the bear.
No, that was him in the suit. You go to Mike's house, there's just a bear head behind him. You're like, yeah, dude, nobody knows. But you're like, fuck, dude, you crushed that scene.
I sleep in that every night. Big
Me and
fucking
Leo were
Leo.
going for a smoke in the village.
No, I thought it was good.
Yeah. No, I the directors that I like when you hear they do something, it's but what's it called? This kid, Christopher Nolan's doing that. We're going to see that.
Oppenheimer?
Yeah, I heard it's
Yeah.
like insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to go see it, but now the new baby, I don't know the next time I'm making it to a theater, to be honest. It'll be a little while before I'm in a theater watching a movie.
Yeah, and something tells me that you and Casey aren't like nanny people. Or are you?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You're not going to do that shit.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know if I have money, but I'm on strike, so there's no nannies in my future. Yeah,
Especially taking the baby to
You're like,
Nazi
dude, the only nanny I
propaganda.
might get is Fran Drescher.
yeah, only nannies representing my
Robby,
needs.
we're here. You're like, enjoy Oppenheimer. You're like, Jesus. Well, no, dude. I hope it. I hope everything works out, and we got to do stand up together again.
Yes,
Because, dude, that's
please.
the other thing, man. check out all of Robby's clips, dude. So funny.
I appreciate
and
that,
your
man.
tweets are so funny. Like it's very easy to put together why these people, especially like Jon Stewart, wants to work with you.
Thanks, man.
And you really are. Like I always say, Robby Slowik is like my consigliere. He's like my what's it called? Robert Duvall in The Godfather. Was it Tom Hagen?
Yeah,
Tom Hagen. Yeah. But no, man. Congratulations on the baby.
Thank you, man.
Being a new dad. You can't. I'm not trying to shit on anything now, but you can't. You're only 3 months in.
Yeah.
She's probably like she's like a dope head who sleeps all the time. Right? Like Giannis has a brand new. And I go, what's it going? He goes, dude, she's
just out.
It's just she's like taking amazing naps for 3 months. So, but once it gets, you're gonna start to slowly see it, and it's gonna be amazing. And I know you guys are great parents. Do you have any stand up things you want to plug now, or or are you just doing spots around the city?
No, I've got I don't have any of it written. I'm down at the DC Improv August 20th.
One of my favorite rooms in America.
It's such a great room.
It is the smartest audiences.
Yeah.
It is one of the best rooms in America. Are you doing that when?
The August 26th and 27th. I am at Dead Crow in Wilmington, North Carolina. I think the first weekend in October.
Nice.
And then I'm somewhere in PA in September, but I don't know.
Do you have those dates on your site, or no? You don't have a site.
I do. If you go to my site, RobbySlowik.com, and you can get me on Twitter and Instagram at Robby Slowik, RobbySlowik.
Guys, I'm going to say it here. You can remember it. This man, you're going to see him as a writer in a lot of big things in the future. There's no doubt about it, because he's one of the best and he's one of the smartest. And check him out, because his stand-up is equally as good. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
My dates, guys, like I said, we kind of ended the leg, so I'm going to be away for a little bit, but we're coming back in October, September, October too. I might be going to Europe. I don't know in September, but October I'll be going to San Diego. I'll be going to Helium in Philadelphia. Normally I do the Punchline, but we're doing Helium this time. I'm going to be going to Albany. I'm going to be going to Hartford, and we are adding more dates to paulvirzi.com. Check out the special streaming on Netflix, Nocturnal Admissions. Check out Bone to Pick podcast and Anything Better podcast as well. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks again, brother.
Thank you, man.